Good morning. My name's June Felix, and I'm president of Verifone Europe. And I'm delighted to have with me here today a very distinguished partner and also renowned individual in his own right, Arnaud Crouzet, who's global head of payments for Auchan Retail International. For those of you that don't know Auchan, you should. It is one of the most successful, largest companies headquartered in France and actually operating on a global scale. I've had a real opportunity to get to know Arnaud over time, and I'm delighted to welcome you today because you have so much interesting experience I think we'd love to chat about. So, Arnaud, we're talking about omnichannel, and you actually have really been very innovative in that whole area. What are some of the things that you're seeing in omnichannel today and how it's useful?
Well, regarding, so thank you very much, June, to welcome me. It's a pleasure to be with you. Regarding omnichannel, what is very important to understand is regarding the expectations for the customer. We used to have different channels in the past, and unfortunately the implementation has been done in different manner. If it was for e-commerce, it was a specific implementation and different payment method behind that. For face-to-face, it was another type of payment method. And it was not so obvious for customer in that case to well understand where they have to go depending on the channel. So now omnichannel is there, it's obvious. And for customers, they can't understand that the interaction with a merchant is different depending on the channel. So we need to find a way to provide the same experience with customer. They don't have to decide which channels, technical channels and merchant channels they have to use. There is only one brand and they want to interact with that brand, with that merchant in the same manner, what could be the channel. And somewhere they want to decide at the end which type of channels, let's say, they want to use. I mean, they will interact with the customer, with the merchant, and then to decide they want to receive at home or to pick the goods in the shops and so on. But it's them to decide how they want to interact with us, and not us to force them to interact with us.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think what we're finding, at least if you look at the show, everyone is trying to create a better consumer experience, right? The shopping experience to make it simple and convenient. And in your role as global head of payments, what are you seeing as the opportunities? Because you work all over the world. Are they different in different countries?
Yes, it's different. But it's different because of the history and because what has been implemented over the years. But otherwise, the expectation for the customers is more or less the same. So we have implemented in different countries different type of solutions and way to interact with the customers, and it's becoming now a nightmare if we want to manage the same relation, same approach with our customer. So our objective now is to try to harmonize that over the different countries and to not continue to have different type of implementation, payment system or channels, let's say, with customer. And this is a big change. Each country, and especially in Europe, at least, each countries have different type of implementation and different type of protocol, different type of payment system. Face-to-face e-commerce is different. If we want to bring a new innovation, a new customer journey, it's very complicated, quite sometimes impossible, just because we need to develop again the same experience in another environment, another platform, another protocol, to pass new certifications with domestic schemes and so on. So it's really a shame if we want to have to create this customer experience.
And then on top of that, we have PSD2. So PSD2 is a regulation that's trying to create some open access to banking capability or banking accounts in Europe. But is that a challenge or an opportunity?
I would say both. It could be a very good opportunity just because it's providing new possibilities for merchants and not banking actors, let's say, to be present in the payment chain. Before it was done only by payment actors, dedicated payment actor, and merchants were not able to be involved already. We are not able to decide what we wanted to do for our customer. Now it is the case, and we have new opportunities with PSD2 for access to account, for instance, or payment initiations also. That is very, very interesting and very good, and that creates new way to manage a customer and to exchange with them. So this, on that point, could be very good opportunities. On the same time, there is new rules also, and especially with what we call the RTS, Regulatory Technical Standards, that oblige to have very strong customer authentications. And unfortunately, on what has been decided on the PSD2, the merchants can't have any more risk base with their customer. And this is a pity. And I think that it can make some type of payments and way to interact with customer disappear. The one-click button, for instance, with the PSD2 is no more possible, because the one-click button was done by us. We manage our risk. We do a risk page. We know the customer. We know if we can accept or not to not have a strong authentication. But with PSD2, it's no more possible. Merchants can't have any more risk page. It's managed by the PSPs, but at the end managed by the issuers. And only issuers can decide if a strong authentication can be done or not. And the rules, by default, is totally different at now. Now we have a strong customer authentication if we think that there is a risk. So it's not needed in all the time. Tomorrow, the rule is a strong authentication by default, and only in some cases we can avoid to have it, and the decision will be done by the issuer, not by the merchant.
So that's very challenging, both in terms of, as you said, limiting options for merchants to take responsibility for clients that they're comfortable with, and adding a lot more technology cost, I would imagine, to the system, and also making it more expensive for you, and creating friction in the system for consumers. Is that what you're saying?
We will have to. What we can think now on payments and how we want to interact, especially for online payments, what we can implement now potentially can't be used in 2 years' time. Same for mobile payment. If we implement a mobile payment, if we don't find a way to have a strong customer authentication that could be recognized by the issuers, in that case we will not be able to continue to use it. And it's already done, it's already approved in terms of regulations, but it will be implemented in 2 years' time. So it's very big questions. And my big question in that case to schemes is how can I have a one-click button? The one-click button is the best example, I think, because a one-click button is no more possible without rules. So how can we find a way to continue to have a one-click button?
That's a very difficult question. Do you think the right people are having the discussion? I know you're very involved. You represent a very critical global retailer with a lot of sophisticated knowledge in terms of the real implementation challenges. Are other retailers, working with you to make sure that you're heard, to the regulators, to the issuers, so that, at the end of the day, we're trying to find a safe, secure way and convenient way for shoppers to shop. So how is the industry or your organization helping mobilize this conversation?
We are some merchants, but it depends the size of the merchants. There are some actions at the domestic level on different countries when it's possible to have that type of actions, because it's not always possible. And for big merchants that are present in different countries, in that case we try to have actions at the European level. We are not so much, because somewhere the payment is not our job, our day-to-day job. And it's not always easy to go deep into detail to fully understand all the different impact in terms of implementation and in the customer journey. I think that most of the regulation has been done by I would say directly by some political persons that are not really involved in the day-to-day business. So theoretically, it should be, it's fine. And we are all happy to increase the security in payments, but practically what has been defined is not already implementable.
I think, as you say, we were having a conversation about people looking at problems from different perspectives, right? And how important it was to have the conversations so that you could look at a problem in whole, not just the parts. And so what it sounds like is the regulators have very good intentions. You know, they want it to be safe, they want it to be secure, but the implementation really requires a lot of collaboration and discussion. So that sounds like, you know, an important message for, you know, the audience.
Yeah, I think that in that game we should be all involved, and we have the same interest. Security is key. We can't imagine to have a payment system without security. We need to have the trust of the customer and all the different actors of the payment chain. We need to find a way to reduce the fraud also, and so that approach to increase the security is good. But they don't take into account that merchants also have something to say in that four-corner model. So they just thought that banks, issuing banks and acquiring banks were able to manage themselves security. But I think they fully avoid and they forget the fact that also merchants, especially big merchants, have invested a lot in a fraud detection system in order to be able to do a risk-based transactions. Some merchants are very low rate in terms of fraud because they have very powerful system. But without new rules, it doesn't mean anything to continue to invest in a fraud detection system on the merchant point of view. Because also if we have a very good way to manage our fraud, at the end, it's only the issuers that will decide. So what is interest to continue to invest in that case?
Yeah, very complex discussion in terms of how to find the right balance, right, in terms of who takes what role. And we've enjoyed a good partnership, and I'd love for you to talk about how is Verifone helping you grow now, and how can we help you grow in the future?
Well, we are coming from a situation where each countries have implemented their domestic system and their local payment system. So I still have, for the time being, I still have very complicated infrastructure done for each entities on each country. So I can't have a real approach with customer innovation and so on. The partnership with Verifone is important to try to harmonize all that. I have different post terminal in different countries, different model and so on that I need to follow to trust to see if they are still PCI ATS compliant or not, and it's really a nightmare. If I want to add a new services, I can't do that. So my objective now is to have a capability to deploy terminals, Verifone terminals in all countries. So all countries will have the same type of terminals. They will be independent of the country-based specificities. So I will have a single terminal management system to manage everything on different countries. So to harmonize, I would say somewhere to save costs also, and to not have specificities on the country's base, but to have a global approach. And so it's why we are working together, and we are able to extend that partnership on different countries.
Well, we're very excited to do that, and obviously there's huge opportunity. You have a wonderful vision about how simplicity and a global consistency and harmonization can really unlock innovation, and we're excited to be part of that. So thank you so much, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you, June.